Okay, so what I want to talk about now are multiples and the lowest common multiple. So we have multiples, and then we have what's known as the lowest common multiple. And we'll just abbreviate this as LCM. So we'll save ourselves a little bit of space. So multiples. So what do we mean by multiples? Okay, well, let's take the number 3. So if we multiply this number, or we make multiples of this number, what do we mean by that? So if we think about what are the multiples then of 3? So the multiples of 3 are 3, the next one. So 3 and 3 is 6, and then 3 again is 9, and then 3 again is 12, and then if we add 3 again to that, it's 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay, and this just goes on and on and on and on. Okay, we've an infinite number. Okay, so we have an infinite number of multiples for 3, but we start off with 3. Then if we think about 7, for example, so let's think about 7. So what are the multiples of 7? So we have 7, and 7 is 14, and 7 is 21, and 7 is 28, and 7 is 35. Okay, and likewise it'll go on and on and on all the way to infinity. So these are the multiples of 3 and the multiples of 7. So we can have multiples of any number, so we can. And this is what we mean by this. So all of these here are examples of multiples. The first row here are the multiples of 3, and the second row are the multiples of 7. Now within maths then we have this idea of what's known as the lowest common multiple. So common means both. It's common to both. And then multiple, this is what we mean by multiples. And then the lowest is the lowest valued common multiple. So if we think about this, so first of all, let's underline what are the common multiples of 3 and 7. So we have, okay, so what multiples have we got that are common? So we have 21. And there are no other common multiples between 3 and 7. Now, it so happens then that 21 is the lowest common multiple. It's the lowest common multiple of 3 and 7. So the LCM of the number 3 and 7 is equal to 21. That's the lowest common multiple. Another way to kind of think about it as well is that 3 and 7 will divide into 21. So if I have 21 and I divide it by 3, that's going to be equal to 7. And if I have 21 and I divide it by 7, it's going to be equal to 3. Okay, now, so the lowest common multiple then, just from the point of view, is the number, it's the lowest number, it's the lowest multiple that's common to both of the numbers. So this is an example of where we have the lowest common multiple. So let's think about some other examples of that. So let's say if we take 3 numbers here. So imagine we have 8, the number 8, the number 12, and the number 18. So what I'd ask you to do now is get the multiples of 8, get the multiples of 12, and get the multiples of 18. So pause the video and do that. Get the multiples and then identify the lowest common multiple. The multiple that's the lowest that's common to these three numbers here. Okay, so let's see how you got on. So let's think about what are the multiples of 8, for example. So let's work out the multiples of 8. So you have 8. The next multiple is going to be 16. The next multiple is going to be 24. So you have 8 and 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24, plus 8 is 32, plus 8 is 40, plus 8 is 48, plus 8 is 56, plus 8 is 64, and then plus 8 is 72. Okay, so these are multiples of 8. So these are some of the multiples of 8, and that'll continue going on and on and on indefinitely. Now, if we think about the multiples of 12, so we've 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 12 is 36, plus 12 is 48, plus 12 is 60, plus 12 is 72, plus 12 is 84. Okay, and then we can continue on and on indefinitely in that direction. And then if we think about the multiples of 18 then, so 18 plus 18 is 36, plus 18 is 54, plus 18 is 72. Okay, and these also will go on and on and on indefinitely. So we started off with these numbers here, 8, 12, and 18. And then we got the multiples of it. So now what we're trying to find out is between these three numbers, between the multiples for these three numbers, what's the lowest common one? So if we think about it, so we have common multiples. So 24 is common to 8 and 12. It's a common multiple, but it's not a multiple of 18. Okay. If we think about if we think about then, so is there another number that's the lower number, a common multiple that's common to all three, but it's the lowest common multiple. So if we think about this number here, so 74. So you have 74 here. Okay, you have 72. Should I say? You have 72 here, so that's a common multiple. You have 72 here. So there's no other number that's lower that's common to all three. 24 is common to 8 and 12, but it's not common to 18. So if we think about it then, the lowest common multiple between these three numbers is 72. So the lowest common multiple is equal to 72. And another way to kind of think about this as well is that all of these numbers will divide in evenly into 72. So if we think about it, so if I take 72 divided by 8, that's going to be equal to what? So if you want to, so 72 divided by 8 is going to be equal to, so 72 divided by 8 is equal to 9. Um, 72 divided by 12 is equal to what? 72 divided by 12 is equal to 6. And then 72 divided by 18 is equal to 4. So again, these multiples as well, the starting off number will divide in evenly into these numbers as well. So the lowest common multiple of 8, 12, and 18 is 72. So that's what we mean by lowest common multiple. So I suppose the definition of it then would be the lowest common multiple of two or more numbers is the smallest number into which each of the numbers will divide. Okay, so that's if you want to think about what the actual definition is, and it might just be worth just writing that out. So let's think about that. So the lowest common multiple, if we define a definition then, so it is the smallest number into which each of the numbers divide. Okay, so the lowest common multiple is the smallest number into which each of the numbers will divide. So these are so for example, if we start off with the numbers as 3 and 7, so they're two numbers. So the smallest number that's common to both of these into which these will divide is what's known as the lowest common multiple. So, and the same here with 8, 12, and 18. So these are the numbers we start off with. The lowest common number that's common to all three, it's a multiple of all three, is 72, and each of these numbers will also divide in evenly into, each number will divide in evenly into this lowest common multiple. So that's what we mean by lowest common multiple. Hopefully that makes sense, and I hope you understand this a little bit better now. Okay, thank you.